Okay, hey guys, how's it going? Tom here at Tabletop Republic with just a quick video today, really, and it is based on the greatest game ever created, which, as we all know, is Blood Bowl. Doesn't even need saying, really, but there you go. So this is just a little sort of food for thought, if you will, because I know the Orc team is a team that a lot of people like to take up as their first team. It has traditionally been quite user friendly in terms of beginners. And there's been a kind of, over my experience of playing on the UK tournament circuit for over 10 years now. There's not really been that much variation in the way that the Orc team has fielded. Usually it's you take your four Black Orcs, you take your four Blitzers, and the only sort of real variation, a real question mark, was whether or not you took the thrower. Some people chose not to. Then just carry on a Blitzer. And the sort of the shortcomings of that, I suppose, are that the Orc team built that way can sort of get a little bit gummed up. You've got, if you've got the thrower, if you've got the lineman and the Black Orcs, then your average movement isn't very high. Teams can sort of nullify you by getting in the way. Yes, they take the bruising, that comes naturally. But what I've done here is I have put together an alternative team. Now, me as a player, just as a little bit of background, as I said, I've been playing on the tournament circuit for, I think, well, my first tournament was back in 2005, but, mainly for the past 10 years, really. And I've played at a good level. I've represented Wales at European Championships, called the Euro Bowl, and a World Cup as well. So I've played some really top players. I won my first NAF registered tournament this year. So I do have a decent background. I know what I'm talking about a bit. So this is based on just my opinion. You might not agree with this. There might be better players out there that say this isn't the way to go, but I'm going to stick my neck on the line because I've been using this team build for a little bit now, and I've really quite enjoyed the way that it plays. Whether it's the optimal build or not, that's up for you guys to decide. But I just want to sort of sow the seed a little bit, because if you are looking at Orcs and you like the vibe of the team, there's not just one way to play them, basically. Now, as I said, the normal tournament build was to just take the four Black Orcs and the four Blitzers, but a little variation on that is as groundbreaking as just taking some Goblins. So here you see I've added 3 Goblins. I've only got 3 Black Orcs and 3 Blitzers. Now, this is based on, for a start, this is Blood Bowl 2 that you can see here that I've loaded up. This is just to give you a bit more of an interesting sort of layout, visual layout. A couple of things to bear in mind here. One, this is a 1 million gold pieces build based on Blood Bowl 2016 rules. This isn't based on Blood Bowl 2020, as it is now. So with Blood Bowl 2020, I've had a little look here, and if we assume that the general tournament allowance is going to be sort of around the 1.15 million gold mark, this equates to 3 Goblins, 3 Blitzers, 4 Big Uns, 1 Troll and 2 Linemen, and 3 rerolls at 60k. Okay, that'll be the sort of the team build that I put together. Gives you a few gold left over for the sideline stuff. I've got my little notes down here. That's why I keep looking off the camera there. But what I've got on the screen here, this is just so you can have a little look at the sort of layout. Some people don't like to take the troll straight away, but when you manage his blocks, he's good. That's all it is. When it comes to big guys with the loner skill, you don't take the first block with the troll, but only a 2 dice block on the front line. You make sure everything else is safe first. You make sure he's got a 3 dice block, and you make sure it doesn't matter if he rolls really stupid. Those are the rules. If it matters if he fails really stupid, then you don't roll it. Simple as that. He just stands there and gets in the way. So the reason why I like this build is because it gives you the fun aspect of being Orcs, being all smashy. You've still got your Big Uns, or the Black Orcs as they're still called here on Blood Bowl 2. You've got your Blitzers, which give you that mobile access to block as well. And the Goblins add that little dynamic of bringing up the average movement on the team for a start, because you're taking these guys in place of linemen, in place of the thrower. So they've got that extra square of movement on those guys. And they've got the dodge skill along with the stunty trait. So they're mobile and they're slippery. And what it does is it really increases the reaction possibilities for the Orcs. As well as giving you, of course, the chance at a one-turn touchdown throw with the troll. Usually on a tournament build, you only ever see a goblin there to be the extra guy, a cheap fouling piece perhaps, or just for the one turn, a possibility with the troll. But actually incorporating them into the team, it works out quite well. They don't really pose that sort of vulnerable side to it. If you're up against something like dwarves and you're worried about tackle and that sort of thing, then that's why you've got the lineman in there as well. You sub out the goblin, you put the lineman in there. In this tournament build that I've put, I should clarify that when it comes to tournaments, you do get you get a higher gold pieces allowance. So with a league system, you start with sort of 1 million. When it comes to tournaments, it was 1.1 was very common, and it would seem the rumblings are that because of Blood Bowl 2020, some of the player costs have gone up. That cost is going to the allowance is going to go to 1.15, just giving you that extra wiggle room. So you can sub in a lineman if you need a little bit more stability for the goblins, but it gives you much more opportunity to foul. If you're going straight in there with a flat 11, or even just with 12 players, if a couple of fouls go wrong, then you're down players. But when it comes to using the goblins, you decrease the cost of your team overall. So if you can take 13 players out to a tournament, you're going to be sticking the boot in. Absolutely, fouls galore. When it comes to the skill ups that you would take, that doesn't really change. There's nothing that you particularly put on the goblins because tournaments don't really give double skills out in the skills packages. Certainly not to Orcs because they're usually in tier 1. I won't really go into the specifics how tournament rules packs work because they are different really. But as before, you'd skill up the Black Orcs and the Blitzers with some blocks, some guards, some tackles, some might blow. Take your pick of the variation of those skills. But yeah, that's it really, guys. This wasn't a massively groundbreaking video, I know, and some of you are going to be like, "Oh wow, take goblins!" What an insight. But this is coming from a level of experience of that I've never actually seen this really taken at a tournament with any particular great regularity. Whenever I've come up against an Orc player in my sort of 10 plus years of playing tournament scenes on the regular, it's been 4 Black Orcs and it's been 4 Blitzers, and don't get me wrong, that is a tough team. And if you think I'm wrong and you're going 4 and 4, you're not gonna go too wrong. It's a tough team to play for basically anyone. But the one chink in the armor of that team is that it can get bogged down, and the goblins give you that little bit of maneuverability. So just some thought there, guys. All right. So anyway, that was all. Bye for now, and hope you've enjoyed, and that gives you something to think about if you're an Orc player. Bye bye.